Tonight on Collective Stupidity. Jacob has a crash out about Crysis. You got the alien dickheads in the sky, the helicopter ones, and they're pelting you with ice bullets. The gang talks about Max.
I'm sure they give like a really pompous name like Lesbian Yellow or something.
And Dominic steals a couch.
And we're just yelling at each other, all of it using it. And when, after about 5 seconds or 10 seconds, we figure it out that we were just struck by lightning.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Collective Stupidity podcast, or just Collective Stupidity. Maybe you're on maybe you just don't have time. I don't know. I was trying to think of something witty to say there. I got nothing. This is the only podcast that is guaranteed to never start on time when it is supposed to start. We did better today because everybody was here about 20 minutes early, but then.
Despite that, we're still 5 minutes late.
We're still 5 minutes late. And then on top of that, it's not even the right day. Our normal recording time is Saturday at 12 p.m. But somebody had a work conflict.
Okay,
take your guesses who.
You can blame Walmart for that one.
Yeah, so I swear one of these days we're genuinely gonna get it. I mean, we have to. We have to get it.
Yeah, I don't jinx yourself.
Something
my standards are low. Can I just say before we start the show?
Please do.
Right. I feel like I want to apologize to the listeners for you. If I'm a little bit under the weather today in terms of my I had a very rough night of sleep last night. A gust of wind blew a window open in my apartment, and a bird got inside at about 2 in the morning. And I spent the entire 2 a.m. to 4 a.m. trying to get a bird out of my bedroom. And I come to you now, a product of this lack of sleep in my life.
2 hours?
Well, it's a bird, man. We're gonna just pick it up.
I mean, get some gloves, pick it up, throw it out the window. I don't know.
The bird didn't know what to do. It's a bird.
Okay, that took a lot of different turns than where I thought it was going.
It saw my bedroom. It saw my laptop. It was like, oh, fuck this shit. And just went nuts. It went nuts.
That took so many different directions than I thought it would.
It shot on the floor and then it flew out and took 2 hours. That's why I'm a little bit tired this morning.
That took so many different turns than I thought it would.
Yeah, it did. It took a lot of turns.
I thought you were just gonna be like, "Oh, the wind woke me up," and then I was like, "Oh, the wind blew open a window." I'm assuming that
I know I'm a bit of a toughie. I know I'm a bit of a softie, but I'm a little bit tougher than that.
A little bit tougher than the wind waking me up.
No, it was a bird. A bird got into my apartment last night. I had to get it out.
Oh my god, that's such a you story.
So I apologize to the listeners for my slight tiredness on this recording day.
I'd like to start this episode, if you don't mind.
Yes,
with
of course.
A brief moment of silence. If you'd all join me in a moment of silence.
Can't tell if this is serious or not.
I'm serious. Dead serious. A moment of silence.
Oh,
please.
Okay.
Why are we silent?
Silence!
No, sorry.
All right, I thank you. That's enough silence.
That was incredibly long.
What riveting!
The moment of silence.
What riveting content!
Yeah, gameplay. Yeah, this is a game.
What amazing content for a podcast.
Well, listen. It's a moment of silence for episode number 5, is what it is, because I had such great ambitions for episode number 5. I was planning a high effort special episode. It was gonna be involved. It was gonna be great. It was gonna be. I had a schedule. I had a plan. I had like every 5 episodes we're gonna do a special, in quotes, because special episode. It was gonna be like the dog round in Call of Duty Zombies. It was gonna be great. It was gonna be awesome. And then all of those plans got thrown out the window because of they're gone. They're gone. Those plans are canceled. Because I'll tell you why they're canceled. They're canceled because of fucking Crysis. Are you guys familiar with the game Crysis?
No.
No.
You're not? Okay. Continue to bear with me.
Why?
Crysis with a Y. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at it on
wait, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, now I need to look this up.
Did this sample out of your time, this game?
Well, hold on. I'll explain what happened.
I think I've heard of this before.
Yeah, it's this game that I just put in the chat. It's the game where you have like the nano suit, and you have like maximum armor and cloak engaged.
Yes.
And you're on this like you're on the tropical island and shit. It's that game. So I'm so pissed. I don't even know where to start. I think I'm gonna go chronologically here. I'm gonna crash out about Crysis for maybe 10 to 15 minutes, and then we'll see what happens.
Oh my God.
I'm not joking. I have no plans for this episode other than to talk about this. So we're gonna see what fucking happens.
This is more of a plan than I have. Please go on. I am generally quite interested in what you're about to say.
Okay, I'm gonna go chronologically here, right? Let's start in the beginning. The year is 2011 to 2015. That era.
Oh my God!
Right?
Wait a minute.
Well, hold. Okay. What? I haven't even started, Samuel. What do you want? What do you want?
Don't get between a man and his Crashout.
What? What's your problem? What's your problem, Samuel? Please, I'm open to criticism. Please. I know it doesn't sound like it, but
Sam, this man is not open to criticism. You criticize him, he will find you.
All right. Never mind. I rescind my complaint.
No, I want to hear it. I want to hear it now. You've disrupted me. You've disrupted me. You've disrupted me. I want to hear it. I want to hear it straight from the horse's mouth right now. What?
Starting from 2011, you can't start like a little bit more, recent.
I must start there.
2011.
I must start there. Fine. I must. Okay.
All right.
So the 2011 to 2015 era, somewhere in that range, right? I was a wee lad, and I'm on my YouTube, and I see a YouTube video talking about a mod for the original Crysis. It's the DeLorean mod from Back to the Future. It adds in that car. You can like time travel and shit, and it looks awesome. It looks like a cool mod. What I'm interested in is the beautiful island setting the video takes place in. I'm amazed by this because the game looks so good. The original Crysis looks so good. So I've grown up with this fascination around Crysis and this desire to play and this sort of longing for that experience. Sure. It's always been in my soul. And so the other day I saw the Crysis remastered trilogy because they remastered all the games. The whole trilogy was on sale for like $30 maybe, $40. So I picked it up. And I finally got to play Crysis, and I've been looking forward to this experience like most of my life. Like I've always wanted to play this game. It always looks so cool to me. I love the nano suit. Tropical islands are like my thing. I was raised on Jurassic Park. I love that shit, and so I was really excited.
So did the game? Did it meet your expectations? Is that a fair question to ask?
We'll get to that, Dominic. We'll get there. Don't you worry, Dominic. So I opened the game, and it starts off. It's controller compatible on Steam, right? So I can use my Xbox controller for it. I don't have to use mouse and keyboard. Yeah. Problem number 1: my controller does not work to enter into the game, and it says like press enter to continue. And I'm hitting buttons on my controller, because normally when that happens, when it says enter, it just means it hasn't recognized that you're using a controller, and once you hit a button, it'll switch to the controller inputs, and it's all fine and it works.
Right.
Yep. So I was mashing the fuck out the A button. Nothing. I had to physically hit enter on the keyboard. And now I realize that that's a small problem. I realize that. I acknowledge that this is like the most first world problem you can get. I had to use a button on my keyboard for my expensive computer other than to use a button on my shockingly expensive Xbox controller. Like, I understand that this is a small issue, but it foreshadows.
Yes.
It foreshadows so much. And the game starts with you on a plane. You're part of Raptor Team. You're a group of American soldiers in these high-tech nano suits, right? And it's a really cool premise. You're in this cargo plane, and you're being delivered to an island somewhere in like the Eastern Asian Sea area, somewhere near Korea. I don't remember exactly where it is, but it's near enough to Korea. And recently, the North Koreans have kind of annexed the islands. Civilians have been pushed out of the islands. But there was an American expedition research team there, and they've sent a distress signal, so we need to go help them. And so that's why you're there. And the opening of the game, so good. You get your little brief. It's briefing. It's kind of short. It's nice. You jump out of the plane. You do a skydive. And then all of a sudden you're like EMP'd or some shit, and your suit loses power. You crash into the water. You got to swim and meet up with your team. So then after that, that's where the fucking problems start. You get to the beach. You swim from the water to the beach, and then you notice, oh my god, these controls are dog shit. And I do not say that lightly. Like I can get through a game with dog shit controls, but this is like S tier dog shit controls. Like unbelievable. Unbelievable to me how bad these were. Your sensitivity options should not be as dog shit as they were in this game. So normally when you're playing a shooter, your up and down vertical motion is not the same sensitivity as your left to right vertical motion. Your left to right should be faster than your up and down. And any good game will let you customize this, or it will set it to a preset ratio. Do you want to guess which one Crysis did?
Neither.
Set it to a preset ratio?
It did set it to a preset ratio. Do you want to guess what the preset ratio is?
1-to-1.
Yeah, it's 1 to fucking 1.
Oh.
And the sensitivity is so low to begin with. It's awful. The sensitivity is dog shit. Yeah. And so that's a problem. And then oh my god, the movement. The movement genuinely is so infuriating. It's the biggest problem in the entire game. And I do not say that lightly, because this game is fucking full of problems. But the movement, you're either moving at a snail's pace, or you're fucking zooming. There is literally no in between. And I know that sounds like I'm exaggerating. I'm not. You either don't go at all, or you go at Mach fuck. Like, the only way you get an in between there is there's a system where your suit has energy, and you have energy to allocate to different parts of your suit. So you can use the left bumper to put on maximum armor, which gives you a little bit more armor in combat. Or you can do right bumper, which gives you a cloaked mode. And you use your energy to stay cloaked for a bit. And of course, the faster you move, the faster it drains, all that sort of stuff. And then if you hit in on the left stick, which is traditionally the sprint button, you activate speed mode, which again is how you go Mach fuck. The issue with that, though, is then the only way you can go slow is if your energy is drained and you try and enter speed mode. Because if there's no energy, it can't allocate it to speed mode, and it doesn't regen. You're most vulnerable when you're able to move through the land at a reasonable pace where you're aware of your surroundings and can react. Like, the ideal situation for movement and like gameplay is when you're most vulnerable. Is that crazy to anyone else? Am I wild for thinking this?
No, you're not wild. That's
okay. So is this an issue of the original game, or was this an issue caused by the porting of the game to a new system? And
this is an issue of the original game, because I did play the original game before this. I didn't get very far into it. It was the same way? I didn't get very far into it because the controls were dog shit. And it was the same way. And I thought it was just me being young and not being able to play a game. I thought that's what it was. That's why I bought these again.
I thought it was an issue of the game being ported into a newer console. Sometimes they have those issues when they kind of the game, remaster the game, so they mess with the controllers.
I get where you're coming from, but no, this was an original game issue too.
This is genuine. Okay.
Yeah, no. Let's go chronologically now. Let's go through the story, because the story starts off really good. Yes. It's a decent story. It's a 2007 first-person shooter story, but it's not a bad story. I think it's a decent story. So you meet up with one of your squad mates whose name is Psycho. You meet up with Psycho, and you're supposed to meet up with another member of your squad, Aztec, right? And he's the stereotypical Hispanic man that dies in the beginning to get your stakes up. And
right,
yeah. So you're looking for him, and on the comms he's like, "Guys, I think there's something in the woods." And then you hear him screaming, and he's like, "God, don't let him take me," or something like that. And you find him, and he is fucking mangled. He's mangled in this tree. But he's wearing this nano suit, right? So the leader of the group, Prophet, keep that. This is an important name. We'll come back to him later. Prophet's like, all right, I gotta vaporize him in the suit, because we can't let the North Koreans have this technology, because this is like game-changing technology. We can't let them have it. And so he vaporizes him. And keep this in mind too, because the whole idea of vaporization is very important for a point I'm going to make later.
Understood.
And so...
Understood.
I'm so angry.
I can tell. This clearly cut you pretty deep.
Okay, so you're moving on, and we're supposed to find the researcher's boat, and we're supposed to meet up with Prophet, find the boat. On the way there, there's a bunch of side objectives you can do in the game. And this particular one was to like find information on who's leading the North Koreans. There's like, oh my god, it's General Kyung and like this super badass team of like elite Korean agents. I'm going to segue this part briefly into a talk about the gameplay, like the combat gameplay, which is awful. It's not it's not great. It's a 2007 game, but even by 2007 standards, the combat's not good. It's just, it doesn't feel fluid. Shooting people doesn't feel satisfying, number one, and number two, it's not super effective sometimes for no apparent reason. And then the enemies are blending into the foliage, and in a way that like they're what problem? You got a problem, Sam?
No, it's just the idea that they're blending into the foliage, which is a bad thing in a game, but that is kind of the point of camouflage.
Yeah, no, I do understand that. I was getting to that. Like, it makes sense that they're blending in and hiding, but the issue is they're doing it from like you literally can't see them at all, and they're like beaming you the entire time. I don't have an issue with the fact that they're hiding in it. I have an issue with the fact that they're beaming me while they're doing it. That's what I have an issue with. You have all these enemies, and they have damn near close to hit scan aimbot weapons, and they're just dumping on you, and it sucks so much. But anyway, the combat's not great, and that's all we need to get from this little side objective. Yeah. Sidebar from my sidebar, actually. I'm going back. So I digress. We meet up with Prophet to find the boat. And he's like, guys, I think you're going to want to take a look at this. Because of course he fucking does. It's a 2007 game. And we find the boat. It's in the middle of the island, and it's completely iced over. The entire surrounding area is frozen in like a sphere radius, which is good. I like that. It adds a mystery element. Like, what could throw this boat onto the island, and then what could make it like frozen around here? So there's a good mystery element there. At some point we meet up with Jester, and Jester he's hearing sounds. He's like, guys, do you hear that sound? I think we have some company, guys, because again, 2007 fucking writing. Jesus Christ, kill me.
We have company, very cliche. Yep.
Yeah. And so we're turning around, and Jester gets fucking grabbed by something, and he gets taken, and he's flying away with whatever's grabbed him. So you have to chase him down, and eventually you find him, and he's dead. And so again, Prophet vaporizes him. You pour one out for the homie, and we move on. And again, vaporizing the armor. Keep that in mind.
Very important. Yeah.
Very important.
Yes.
Now the next mission, and this is another issue with the game, is the game doesn't fucking tell you where to go. It tells you nothing. There's no hints at all about where to go. It just like, kill the thing. Not good. Kill the thing.
Some games can do that good. Some games can't.
Yeah, this is not a game you can do that in. Meet up with Prophet. We're heading towards the excavation site where the rest of the hostages are. And we're going through a cave, and as we're coming out of this cave, Prophet gets grabbed by that same thing that killed Jester, right? It's a big, and we see it a little better this time. It's a big flying, like, robot squid thing. And it grabs him, and you're chasing him a little bit, and you eventually lose him, and Prophet's gone. So, you remember the last time this happened? We had to vaporize the two guys, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Fuck that. We're not doing that to Prophet, apparently. Even though, arguably, he's the most important one, since he has the nanosuit, number one. Number two, he's in the hands of advanced technology that does not seem capable of what the Koreans are capable of. And, and he's the mission leader. He knows the most. He's the most valuable member of the team. But we're not going to vaporize him, because your guess is as good as fucking mine. And then all of a sudden...
Wait, did you have the ability to vaporize him?
No,
because that was like his...
That was his thing, yes. But the point...
So this is just baked into the story. The story doesn't have him be vaporized.
Yes, exactly. So
that is inconsistent. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
and then the whole previously too, we didn't have comms back with command, right? And then all of a sudden, as soon as he's grabbed, Colonel Strickland is his name, can suddenly contact me for some reason. And I would assume that he would have the ability to vaporize Prophet, right? Because we verbalized to him, we verbalized to Strickland, Prophet's fucked. I'm completing the mission on my own. And then Strickland was like, okay, he's gone, he's dead, we need to vaporize that suit so the Koreans can't have it. But no, that doesn't happen. That does not happen. So we carry on with the mission. So we get into the excavation site where the hostages are. the relic they found at that excavation site is they found one of these flying squid things that killed Prophet and Jester, and it's deactivated. And they're like, this thing predates man by 2 million years. You know, it's a robot that is built through organic material, and it looks organic.
So is it implied this is like is this like a kind of a cyborg situation, or is this like Jurassic Park where they've re-engineered an animal from the past?
This is implied to be. It's implied to be like aliens from another planet that are somehow buried.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I think it's. Okay. I genuinely think it might be a War of the Worlds situation.
Oh, okay. It's like Planet of the Apes kind of.
Yeah, except really shitly done. But we'll get into why I think that. So General Killing is at the actual main site because the excavation site for some reason didn't turn out to be the main site. Again, Major Strickland is planning his assault. So we join that. We meet up with Colonel Strickland, who for some reason is wearing a baseball hat in his standard issue military gear because because naturally he's a named character, so he's got to look visually distinctive.
True.
Yeah, he's contractually obligated to not protect his head because he's a main character.
This clearly impacted you quite deeply.
It genuinely made me the maddest I've been in probably a year, and I haven't even gotten to the part that really pissed me off.
Oh, right. Back to the story.
You can go on if you're a little tantrum. I'm still listening.
That I feel a little bit demeaned now that you've said the word tantrum because now I'm thinking back.
Sorry, so not tantrum. Justified.
I feel a little bit stupid for having this much vitriol when you call it a tantrum.
I didn't mean to belittle. I did not mean to belittle. You're doing.
It is kind of. It's tantrum-ish. It's not to demean it.
It's okay. I have tantrums, right? I've had a little tantrum every once. Yeah, that happens.
I have tantrums every day, man.
But is what I'm saying unreasonable? Is my anger unjustified?
Let's get to that when we finish. I've got a bunch of notes. Yeah. Let's wait until you're done, and then I'll kind of dive into that.
Okay.
More.
Then we'll decide.
So
then I'll have more opinions.
In the sake of brevity, you get to the mine, and you're outside of it. And all of a sudden, the Koreans have nanosuits for some reason. Ooh. Even though we're supposed to be vaporizing, so they don't get the nanosuits. But they have nanosuits, and that's never explained.
Well, is it because we didn't vaporize that one other one that we went past a little while ago?
The Prophet? No, it's not. Because it would have taken so much time to build the nanosuits.
Well, that's a good point. You had to manufacture those. Yeah. Those take forever.
They unexplained. They inexplicably happen, and that's just a world-building issue that makes no fucking sense. Either way. You get to the mine, and you get in there, and you see the general and Helena. The aliens start activating. They start killing everybody, and there's this little elevator thing that me and the Helena get on, and it takes us up, but it breaks. The roof caves in. They get a VTOL aircraft in there. We get her out on the aircraft. For some reason, I can't just jump, even though super jump is a thing this suit can do. And the elevator crashes, and we have to go through the giant alien obelisk thing to get out of the collapsing mountain. Yeah. And this is where everything starts to wither and die. This is where I have most of my issues, because this section, no direction on where to go, and that's fine if you're on the ground walking normally, but you're not, because early into it the gravity cuts. And you're doing 0G movement around big circular enclosures that is dark and blue, and everything blends fucking together. And then you're trying to navigate that too, while being attacked by these weird alien things that never show up again in the story. I don't know what they are. They're attacking you from behind. They do 75% of your health bar. And it's bullshit. And I was playing on easy mode and I was struggling. And I'm so angry. And I finally get out. You finally get out of this labyrinth. I cannot stress enough how much I hate this section. And you get out. And you find that the entire area surrounding the mountain where the mine is a giant sphere of ice and like cold temperatures. You know those bubble shields from Star Wars?
Yep.
It's one of those, but with ice and cold, and everything inside is freezing. And then so you get out, and you're attacked by these aliens. And all of a sudden, fucking Prophet shows up. And he has one of the alien guns that he somehow rigged to be used, even though they all explode once they die. Even in the first place, him being alive is ridiculous. but then he somehow knows how to use the technology, which is whack. And then you get Colonel Strickland on the phone. It's like, hey, yo, we pulling out this bitch. Get to the evac point. And so you're moving to the evac point outside of the sphere. All the while, you have to protect Prophet because his suit energy is low. And it keeps draining, and that's what protects him from the cold. So you have to stop by physical fireplaces all along this route. The entire time, you're getting shot by aliens, and then helicopter aliens are drilling you from above. You're getting back shots by the aliens the entire time, Dominic. I swear to God, it's bullshit. And you get out of it, and then you get to the evac point, and then there's this big fuck-off tank tripod-looking fucking thing that comes out of the ground. And that's why I think this is a War of the Worlds thing. Because the tripods come out from under the ground. I think this is genuinely War of the Worlds, but done so shit, it's not even recognizable. And so that the fucking tripod comes at the evacuation point, and, you know, you're trying... We're all in these VTOL aircraft, and it's trying to lift up and take off, but the guy's like, it's overloaded. No, the fuck it's not. There's the amount of soldiers that take up the 8 seats plus 1. I am standing on the ramp. Everybody else is in the seat. It is not fucking overloaded. You are capping. Okay. You are capping. And then the thing is approaching the entire time. The big tripod fuck off thing. And then Colonel Strickland's like, I'm gonna buy you some time, boys. And this is all for him to have a heroic fucking death when the thing fucking steps on him and he blows up. Why? If the thing wasn't overloaded, there was plenty of weight capacity left. And he stepped off of it. He was on the ramp, he stepped off, and then we suddenly flew. And then, oh my god, and then you're on the VTOL, and then the pilot dies, and you have to take over. And the controls are dog shit. Why is left trigger and right trigger to control the, tilt of the aircraft? That doesn't make fucking sense. That should be for the guns. Why is right bumper missiles and left bumper the minigun? That just doesn't make sense. The control scheme's all fucked up. And then you get back to the fucking boat. And this is actually the part that makes me, shit myself with rage. Because you got this dumbass general guy, right? Actually, before that, Psycho. You remember Psycho? The guy who we met up with at the beginning? Right? He's there too. And he killed one of the big fuck-off helicopter alien things. He killed one, and then it's deactivated, but it's not activated. And it does the jump scare thing. And oh my god, it's active. And then they shoot it, and it's dead. And then that never gets addressed again. And then we get to the Douglas MacArthur, who's like, I'm gonna nuke that fucking island. Which... sound strategy. Aliens are pouring from it. It makes sense. You're gonna fucking nuke it. But for some reason, the researcher's daughter, Helena, again, is like, no, we can't do that. We don't know. It's not a good idea. We need to try alternatives. What alternatives? Nothing has been, the only thing that kills it is mass bullets. There's no reason to think the nuke wouldn't work. I don't understand why we're acting like the nuke is a bad idea. And the main character that you're playing as, Nomad, is like, yeah, no, I don't think we should be nuking it. Why? It makes no sense! The nuke is the best option! And then we go down below deck, and this guy, we do some tech with the suit where Helena is able to put a frequency into the suit and emit it from the suit at will. Then you go up to the bridge and you nuke the island. And I forgot actually a point between this. Prophet decides he's going to take his alien minigun, steal a VTOL jet, and go back to the fucking island. So he's on the island at this point. Right, keep that in mind. Because he's insane, apparently. He's like, I need to finish the fight. He's channeling his inner fucking Master Chief. And he goes back, he steals a plane, he goes to the island, he's on the island, whatever. We nuke the island the next. You see the nuke hit the island. And then there's this moral debate that MacArthur and fucking Helena are having, I hope you know what you're doing, General. And the General's like, so do I, or all the world will die. And it's like, the nuke is the best option. We've established this. This is stupid. This is a stupid debate. But they nuke the island, and all of a sudden the ice sphere gets, it doubles in size. It gets massive. And then the aliens start attacking the aircraft carrier we're on. And the fucking Helena is like, told you so, even though, you can't say that when you had nothing substantial to say in the first place. If you had said, hey, the nuke might emit radiation and cause it to grow, then you would be able to say, I told you so. But you didn't. You just said there's alternatives, and you didn't name the alternative, so that doesn't work. I digress. They attack the boat. The boat goes to shit. you grab the mini nuke launcher, and then you're on deck, and they're like, abandoned ship, because the boat's fucking sinking. The aliens are attacking. And then all of a sudden, the big fuck-off tripod thing that killed Strickland is back on the boat. And so you have to kill that thing. Although, obviously, you don't use the fucking nuke launcher. You use your normal guns, which weren't effective on it the first time it showed up on the island, by the way. But now, all of a sudden, they work. And then this big-ass, giant fucking, like, alien warship, they call it, hovers out of the water. And I kid you not, it has 4 turrets. They're shooting at me the whole time. I'm behind cover, they're shooting at me. Helen is like, well, I'm gonna pump a frequency through your suit, and it'll help kill it. You got the shields. I'm gonna pump the frequency through to destroy its shields. I'm supposed to kill the turrets, but I hear that voice line, and I'm like, oh, I gotta wait for her to destroy the shield so I can shoot it. No, I'm just sitting there for 5 minutes doing diddly dick, so I finally shoot the fucking turret, and it explodes, and so I destroy all the turrets. And by the way, the entire fucking time, I'm using the Gauss rifle, or whatever, which is a fucking useless weapon, because you aim in, I think it does one thing. You don't scope in, it does another fucking thing, I think. And it doesn't hit, like, half the fucking time. And then when it does hit, it does dick! It does diddly dick! It does nothing half the time. And so you're using that to kill the fucking turrets. I'm going through so much ammo. It takes so long to reload the damn thing. And I finally get the turrets, and then you have to, like, lock on to, like, 2 of the halves of its body. Like the left half and the right half with the nuke launcher. And then, but you can't do that, right? Because the entire fucking time, you got the alien dickheads in the sky, the helicopter ones, and they're pelting you with ice bullets. And they're like souped up ones too. They're not like the basic ones. They're fucking like mega mode. They're like, they're insane. And they're like in the fucking stratosphere. They're as high up as they can possibly be. They're at the build limit in Minecraft. That's how fucking high they are. And they're pelting you.
Damn,
There's
crazy,
there's
man.
4 of them. And they're hitting you from all sides. And then that's not even the worst part. That's not even the worst part. The worst part is the big fuck off alien thing, right? It's shooting an ice beam at you. But the ice beam, it freezes you, and you have to do your little, the thing where it's like, you gotta mash the controller joystick. You gotta do fucking that with it. And then when you do that with it, you're still in the same spot. And it's still shooting you with the ice ray in the same spot. So you're immediately back in the ice ray. Immediately. There's no break. And you're immediately back in it. And so and that entire time it's draining your health and not the armor, because you can have the armor on, but then the guys in the sky are draining the armor, and then the ice thing's draining your health. So you're stuck there for like half an hour. And then you finally destroy the sides. And then you have to destroy and you have to do that twice. And then you got the entire time you got the guys in the sky. The entire time. They don't stop. And then it flips, and then you destroy the both sides, and then it flips up, and then you gotta shoot open a hatch, which takes fucking forever. You got more fucking flying dickheads, and then you shoot the thing and nuke into it. You get in the helicopter, and then you have a cutscene where it's like, Prophet's signal is on the island, and then they're like, the Japanese fleet's gonna be here. We have to wait in like an hour, and they're like, no man, your character's like, no, we know how to beat them now, and they fly off to the island, and that's it. The game fucking ends. The game ends halfway through the goddamn story.
That was a lot. Yeah, that was.
You're right there, mate.
Damn, that's.
This is a colossal. This is
It
a
sounded like you were
colossal
shedding some
crash
tears
out.
there at the end.
I've waited over half my life to play this game. I looked up how long. I looked it up on timetobeat.com. I looked up how long the game takes to beat. The normal main story playthrough is supposed to take 9.5 hours. I did it in 4.5. Where's my 5 other goddamn hours? Where are they?
Okay.
And we don't know how to kill them now. We don't have anything. We don't know anything. And then we're supposed to go to the island. And then what's Prophet's deal? We don't know anything. What is happening to Prophet? And then how does this situation get resolved? How does it move?
It's got Jacob.
Let's take a breather here, bud.
Let's take a minute. Let's take a minute. Let's take a minute here. You played a shitty game. It's okay. You blew 4 hours of a shit game.
4.5.
I had notes. I no longer have notes.
No, let's hear the fucking notes. Let's hear the notes. No, I want to hear the notes. What are the notes? What are the notes? I want to hear the notes. I want to hear the notes. I want to hear the notes.
I'm not sure. This is wise.
I do have to tell you though, after a while, you became so incoherent that I really did not understand any of the later half of the game. Other than, like, there was a lot of shooting and a lot of aliens that do not have names.
They don't have names.
They're just aliens.
They never explain where they come from. The closest they get is like the thing in the mountain is sending a signal to some far off fucking galaxy. They never explain shit, dude.
I have notes, but they're all quite trivial compared to the event I've just witnessed in our lives.
Yeah, it's quite a.
One thing I never like about video games, and it includes that one, is when foreign characters speak English. I don't have to do it because how else would you understand them? But it's always weird when you get you see the Korean general and he speaks fluent English. Like no actual.
There is actually it's interesting
Korean
you mention
that speak fluent English.
There is the highest difficulty mode does have the Koreans exclusively speak Korean.
Okay. See, I would find that much more interesting. Right? It's a little bit like what's that movie? You ever seen Isle of Dogs?
I have not, no.
That
movie does it in a really interesting way, where they have all of the humans in them. It's about a bunch of dogs and a trash island, and they try to get back to the mainland. And all the humans in that game speak Japanese fluently because it's set in Japan. But they make the choice to not have them speak English, not translate anything. Instead, they just have a couple of cleverly hidden subtitles hidden into the animation.
It's really good.
You
should watch it. Yeah, you should watch Isle of Dogs. Well, first watch Fantastic Mr. Fox, and then watch Isle of Dogs. I think it's easier to get into.
It's well done because it's clear that you don't need to understand what these people are saying if you understand what they're trying to convey. Right? You can sense anger, you can sense despair without knowing the language, and they play on that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
They also use the dogs for some exposition, though.
The dogs do speak English, but
yeah.
I think the dogs are actually supposed to be speaking dog. But it works though because an English man and a Japanese man can't communicate using the same language like that, so it does kind of work.
Yeah, so there's that. I also have a note. Every doctor character in any movie or video game I've seen, generally speaking, with the exception of Metal Gear Solid, is a woman, because guys are not going to listen to guy scientists. Is something I've realized. It's generally speaking, you're not gonna find them because they always argue against the establishment, right?
Yeah.
Like, are you gonna take Poindexter's side against a fucking general? Hey, kill them all because they killed our buddies? No.
Yeah.
But
I suppose. Although I don't know, like Eggman is a guy, right?
Eggman's evil.
He's
That's
also
a terrible example.
That is a terrible example.
That's a terrible example. You're supposed to like the scientist. Nobody likes Eggman.
I kind of like Eggman. Eggman from Sonic Boom is pretty sick. I'm gonna be honest. He makes it difficult to root for Sonic. Sometimes I root for Eggman.
He might. I mean, well, to be fair, he's not committing like mass genocide compared to a lot of other Eggmen. So fair enough. Wait, do you have any other notes, Dominic?
Yeah. Are there any other notes that I can address?
Let me look at my notepad. I've just put down fireplaces with a question mark because it doesn't make any sense, but it's so trivial compared to everything else in that game.
The fireplaces,
it doesn't seem to have any logic behind it.
It was
just on a tropical island. There's fireplaces just around a military base.
I say fireplaces. It was like the wreckage of blown up tanks and stuff.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah, it wasn't. There wasn't bonfires around the island.
Yeah. I would imagine just like Victorian age fireplaces inside these like mud huts of these islands. It's like this doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Let me make something clear here. I don't think you're being unreasonable, right?
Mm-hmm.
You may ever so slightly be more affected by this than, for example, I would be.
Yeah.
by a margin. And I can't tell how much of that is like genuine and how much of that is.
This is all genuine.
For the podcast.
I waited
over
half my life to play this game. I idolized this game, and this is what I fucking get.
You idolized the game without even like understanding what the plot.
Idolized is strong. It's the only word I can accurately use to describe my feelings at this.
I do feel quite bad for you because it does suck when you really suspect something's against and then ends up being bad. A piece of this though, and this isn't your fault. This is just a piece of kind of human nature, as I've noticed as I've kind of gone through life, is that the more you expect something, the higher expectations increase, and the more likely you are to be disappointed by something. That's what I've learned, right? So for movies, right? I was pretty hyped up for a lot of the recent trend of Star Wars movies from Disney, right? Like the final trilogy Disney put out in like 2018. Yeah. Yep. And they really hyped those, and my expectations were really high because I hyped it. And as a result, I thought they weren't very good, right? But compare this to like Star Trek, the Wrath of Khan, right? I had no expectations of that film. I've never heard of it. I don't know what it's about. I just put it on one night, and I thought that was a better film. Because knowing the film, you anticipate it, and that kind of it significantly raises your expectations of it. And they can totally mess with of your perception of it. Like you've been raising your expectations of this game for 11 years.
Yeah.
And I suspect the idea of this game in your head is obviously maybe different from the actual game.
Yes.
But like, I suspect if you just like stumbled upon this in a store and put it on, you would find it upsetting because it's bad, but not nearly as upsetting as you do now.
Yeah, that's
but this
that's
is just a piece of human nature.
That is
like
true.
This is an unfixable aspect of human nature.
That's true. I absolutely agree with that. I do try and avoid hype in most things because I don't want to get my hopes up. But granted, in my defense, this whole obsession formed when I was a kid, so I didn't really do that then.
Yeah, and adults do this too. I do the same thing. This is just again, this is human nature, which means it's normal. We all do it. So are you sure that like there isn't like a multiple endings to this game?
I am positive. I am positive. It is one.
It is weird for games to kind of end in the middle, unless they're planning a sequel. That is
the sequel.
They did do
a sequel. I looked it up. The sequel does not connect between.
Okay, so there's no connection. They just ended the game.
It goes from this ragtag band going back to the island to all of a sudden the aliens have won. New York is fucked. You're in New York. And I think you're also playing as Prophet in that game, which makes no fucking sense to me. But it makes no sense. It makes no sense. I don't get why they made that choice. I don't get why they made that choice. It makes no sense to me.
I can't help you, man. I don't think it's unreasonable. It's okay to be passionate about things like this. Although I maybe take a little breather. It is just a game. Like I understand it's more than just a game, but it is
your childhood.
A line of code on a disk that you put into a machine. Like it is just just relax.
These things pass.
I'm hoping there's other aspects of your childhood besides this.
Yes,
that's kind of what I'm saying.
What did you learn from this
I guess our conclusion here is I'm very sorry that you didn't enjoy this game.
Yeah,
it made it everybody's problem.
Yeah. Well, what got me here is you've done the impossible. You've actually made Robert go silent for a little bit. Right? That's what scared me, because I think you scared him.
It's
like, wow.
I was like, if I open my mouth, he might just like start going nuclear on my entire bloodline.
Yeah. It's like, let me just leave him to it, or else he might kill me.
He's gone silent. You've scared him.
Oh my god.
Damn, terrified.
Put that on the record. It's fucking A.
Oh, okay, well.
All right. Do we have other topics to get to?
Well,
I have a little bit of follow-up. That did take an hour.
It did take an hour. I mean, if you want.
Oh my god, we've been sitting here for an hour talking about Crysis.
He's talking about this game for 45 minutes.
I'm like, this is your podcast. You can do with it what you want, but I'm praying to God you don't have an hour-long rant. You gotta trim that down to about half that. It's pretty brutal for the listeners. Think of the listeners. Think of the listeners who listen to this podcast. You don't want to make them.
Yeah, no.
Let's just do the Batman Doodle Doops, and then we'll go on to my issues with Microsoft again.
Yeah, let's do that.
I have many issues of Windows 11, right? And I was talking with my roommate, who is quite knowledgeable in computers, and he told me that he also had a bunch of issues with Windows 11, and that he fixed this by downgrading to Windows 10. And so I've downgraded to Windows 10. It's only been one day. I did this last night. So it's way early days. I really can't tell if it's better or worse, but I'm going to try Windows 10 for a week or so and see if I like it better. So far, I do.
Yeah,
it's asked me a lot less questions.
I liked Windows 10 a lot more than 11.
I'm back on Windows 10. I'm re-10ing the Windows, and a week from now, we'll do a little checkup and see how things go. Is the synopsis of that.
I love how the solutions to deal with like fucking Microsoft's Windows is just go back to the previous version.
Yeah, where they
because somehow the previous version.
Windows is like 11 is so what's the word? Corrupt is not the right word, but I'm going to use that. First, it's so bloated, right? Like the actual software, it's not streamlined in the correct way, and so if you're using like Adobe with your Windows 11. Windows 11 eats up a bunch of RAM to begin with, and so you have to. It doesn't run smoothly. And then Windows 11 also tries to push a bunch of stuff on you that you don't really want to use. Like I mentioned last time, like
OneDrive.
OneDrive, yeah, thank you. It's constantly pushing to use OneDrive. It's constantly saying Windows 10 doesn't do this. Right, Windows 11 does because they want you to use it. They make money by you using it. But Windows 10 doesn't push this nearly as much. Same thing with advertisements, right? 11's constantly changing my start menu to have random news stuff that I don't want, and 10 doesn't. You can turn this off in 10. You can't in 11. It's small things like that that keep me going. But I've switched back to Windows 10. I'm going to use it, and if I hate it, I'm going to hate it. But on that note, I did do something quite brave on my end of things last night. You can be proud of this. I'm not sure if actually I have no idea if you're a computer guy, Jake, or any of you other two.
I do a little computing.
I'm assuming you are, because you do strike me as that kind of person.
So that feels like an insult for some reason, and I don't quite know why.
I mean it as a compliment, but it may be an insult.
I feel like you're just saying that because I taught you can do Control-Click on something, and you've just gotten that opinion in your head since then.
Well, I mean,
I definitely have, yeah.
All right.
I have. Okay, so I have a PC, right, and then I have a second PC that. Okay, let me back this up a little bit. My mother works for a company which I can't name. I'm gonna throw this way back. My mother works for a company which I can't name because it's a very small company. And I don't want to dox my own mother. There might be some complaints.
There might be some blowback on that one.
Yeah, anyway, said company had a recent upgrade of their entire tech department, right? And they threw out a bunch of computers.
Ooh.
Which means that I went there right before they tried to like bid them off on eBay, and I snagged a bunch. And amongst that was a Dell laptop a Dell PC from a couple years ago. Now my PC has 12 gigabytes of RAM.
Yeah. And
this other PC also has 12 gigabytes of RAM.
Yeah.
And I assume that was like a stick of 8 and a stick of 4 gigabytes on the PCB. So I figured I can get 16 gigabytes if I crack both open. I just swap some cards around, and I did it. I got a screwdriver out. I I'm a guy. Just opened the computer. I ripped things out. I put things in, and it worked. It was probably the most advanced tech thing I've ever done in my life.
Wow,
Dominic, do you understand how I think lucky you were when you did that? Because RAM,
it worked.
Did you confirm that you actually have like 16 now?
I did when I was on Windows 11, but it lies to you. So let me check again.
Yeah, because RAM is it has very strict compatibilities, so it's very well possible that you did get some that's compatible. Like that is possible, but I would check.
View RAM info.
Although again, it probably wouldn't launch if it wasn't compatible. So.
Yeah, no. According to this, I have memories RAM. Right, I have.
Yep.
I'm using 7.9 out of 15.3.
On what?
So I guess 16.
What are you using 7 gigs for?
I'm running Discord and Firefox, like 20 tabs, and Spotify, and a bunch of other things.
That's
a bit much.
It seems like a lot.
It is a bit much. Is that true? I don't know. I mean, it feels faster, right? It feels less chunky when I'm running 5 Adobe programs at once, but that might just be pure placebo. It's kind of tough to tell.
Yeah.
It could be.
But it's certainly booted, and it certainly says I have 16, even if it's not using it. So, I mean, I did get lucky because it was a Dell computer, and I slammed them into a HP. So I guess I really did get lucky.
Yeah.
Supposedly, I have 16 gigabytes of RAM now, which is still not really adequate for what I do on my computer, but it's closer. Although I will say, I am looking at the dark side. I've been looking at Macs.
No. You said this the other day. You said this to me the other day, and I told you, Dominic, if you do that, that might genuinely be the end of our friendship.
The sad thing is, I do believe that. I suspect that's probably true. But look at this, so nice and colorful, and this so clean. I'm gonna send you a page. Look at some of these. Just look at it. Agree with me.
Did you call them cuddly?
Colorful, but cuddly. I'm not sure about that.
Right,
have a look at some. Look how thin they are, and like efficient, and like appley and Californian.
What the fuck is this?
They got dogs. They got some like kids looking at it. It's got like a dolphin.
What are you looking at? I'm not looking at any of that. What I'm looking at. Oh God! I see it. No, what is that thing?
I don't know. It's from the weird Apple TV thing that nobody uses.
Give me, I can't see.
And like, there's look at the happy guy at the flowers around him. Well, he's not happy. He looks actually pretty upset.
He's deadpan. He's totally deadpan. He's got nothing going on.
Someone just told him that his contract with Apple was canceled. And this is his last photo. Like, that's the face right there I'm looking at.
Wait,
you look at the Californian girl right there in the bake shop. That's so realistic. Like, nobody actually does the iMac. But look at that. She looks so happy.
What photo are you looking at?
Yeah, this staged corporate photo shoot makes it look so. Yeah,
it's so staged. You can't get more staged. Like, and it comes in green, and I like green, and it comes in like it's.
It comes in green. Don't worry, it's only the ugliest shade of it that I've ever seen.
Yes. Ugliest shade of green. But I think they call this puke. No, they don't call this puke green. What is it, like mint?
Oh, I'm sure they call it like.
Yeah, it looks like a mint or seafoam maybe.
I'm sure they give like a really pompous name like lesbian yellow or something.
I like that.
Bisexual blue.
That's the first thing that popped into his head when he heard
like lesbian yellow.
But they look so nice. And
no, they don't.
Really
Dominic, no, they don't.
This sums up my like attitude towards computers, which is I don't really care what it does, but look how nice it
Dominic,
looks.
It's so thin.
I know, right? Isn't that great?
We should buy one and like see. We should buy like 4 of them and see who can punch a hole through it the easiest.
I reckon you can get through that hammer pretty fast.
Yeah, Robert, if you buy them, I will do that for you. Yeah. Because what I'm looking at right now, Robert, is 1,300 for one.
1,300.
Yeah, they're up there in price.
Hold on, let's.
So Dominic, you said the other day it'd take you 5 years to get a new laptop. Now,
That's assuming that I don't pick up a job, which I will, right?
Yeah, but but hypothetically, for the sake of argument, let's keep that figure. How long would it take you to get this iMac?
Let me do some back of the envelope calculations here. My current income, assuming I don't change anything, I don't change my apartment, I don't change my job, I don't change anything like that. It would take, I'd be 32 years old. It would be 11 years.
11 years.
But at that point, though, the price would go down.
Oh yeah, and at that point, it would be like booting up a Commodore 64.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, like, what I would actually do is like if I were to get a Mac, which isn't going to happen because they are expensive, I would get like a Mac Mini, right, or like a Mac Studio or something. I wouldn't get the actual. As much as I like the iMac, I gotta be reasonable here. This is pretty impractical.
You could do $108.25 a month for 12 months.
Oh, because that's better. That's better, right?
Well, it is. You know it's better because it's got 2 asterisks next to it for terms and conditions.
So I guess the more of the segment here, the conclusion of the segment is that I like the iMacs. I think they look really nice. I'd never own one.
You think these colors are appealing?
I do.
You think
I hate
the design is appealing?
Yes,
you think the lesbian yellow looks good?
It looks really
you
clean,
think bisexual
really
blue
nice,
looks good
colorful.
on this computer?
I don't like how modern computers are all black boxes with 1,000 wires coming out of them to 3 different displays. I like clean. I like nice, simplistic, colorful.
Get a fucking RGB computer then. Like, don't do this.
Yeah, that's
get a fucking Linux.
You even know that is damning a faint praise right there. You even know that's worse. I can smell it in your voice.
I do think it's worse.
We just slap a bunch of LEDs to the back of my monitor. No, you know that's worse.
Why don't you just get a miniature piece?
Oh, I have one. It's like a little Lenovo. It's small. It's chunky.
No, yeah, see? I mean, that sure beats a monitor, which you could snap in half, especially you, regarding your general, behavior towards your own laptop.
That is a good point. I don't treat tech with gentleness, It's like a hammer. It's a tool, and I will use it as such.
Exactly.
It's not a tool you physically use, though, Dominic. You're not supposed to be picking up your monitor and hammering in nails with it. That's not what you're supposed to be using it for.
I don't know, yeah. every so often, I go into Facebook Marketplace and I just look at all of the cars or all of the apartments that I can't afford. It's a little bit like that. Do you do that? Is this something you do sometimes?
I used to depress
I do
myself
sometimes.
Yeah, see, Robert knows what I'm talking about. He does this.
So I don't do it with Facebook Marketplace. I do it more with my Steam wish list.
Oh yeah,
same.
yeah.
There you go.
I'll go
Things
on
that won't
Facebook
make
and
me
I'll look at
depressed.
all the cool cars that I really can't afford and don't want. Well, I do want, but I can't. Maybe if I was richer and had a second car. These are all second cars. These can't be my actual go-to. But one day. You know, I'm gonna send you an image of the car that I really want. Just if you see it on Craigslist for cheap, let me know because I might actually buy it. I really want. Oh, here's a good one. A Toyota Sarah.
Now I haven't seen the car, but depending on what the image you send, you may be the only man who has ever said that.
I may be. It's not. It's a really cool car, but it's a really cool car for people who are not car people. You ready for it?
I'm ready.
Yeah, we're ready. Come on,
ready to receive.
Whatever. Just make some predictions what you think it looks like, and then this is what it actually looks like.
I imagine.
That's exactly what I thought it was
God.
gonna be. That's exactly what I thought it was gonna be.
No, but before you go all ape shit, it gets better. It gets better. Check out image 2.
No shot. Oh, image 2 just dropped. Hold on.
It's got going doors.
Oh,
it's got going
hell
doors.
yeah.
Look at it.
Okay.
You've brought me
Look
back.
at it, Jacob. Look at how pretty that is.
Dominic, I'm
going
gonna be honest
doors.
with you. You've brought me back. I'm
Look at it.
I'm in.
Look at it.
I'm in.
Look at it.
Pure. You cannot become more 1990s.
Just
than
as
that.
soon as I get out,
You
they
can't
bring
go
me
any
back
closer.
in.
Like when you boil it down, it's a Corolla with some fancy doors, but it's so like it's glass back, it's glass roof, it's got a nice bitty little manual. I really want one, but they're quite hard to find. Probably because they were only sold in Japan, so they're all left-hand drive, and they have to import them. And probably because a lot of people like them, so they're getting expensive now again. But I really want one. Look at it. Look how cool it looks. It looks like a Corolla that is slightly upclass. It's like slightly upclass Corolla.
Yes. Good God,
I like it a lot. That's what I want.
I kind of get it. I understand.
I do see the appeal. Yeah, I wouldn't personally, but I do definitely see what you appeal. I do like those doors. I won't lie.
Those are so cool. It's so un-Toyota, right? Toyota's such a safe company, and they feel like this out.
No, yeah, it doesn't make any sense. This is not brand. This is not on brand for them. Very unusual.
It looks like a bubbly Corolla DeLorean.
Yeah. Start thinking about what my dream car is going to be. Like that purchase, that's going to like pretty much define the rest of my life.
Let's not overstate this too much, Sam. It is a car you're gonna buy once, right? It's not like you're marrying it. It's not your wife.
No. It's gonna determine the tone of his entire life. Everything else will be influenced by that one.
Oh, I'm sorry. You know, once you buy this Toyota Sierra, you're stuck in the '90s forever. You're stuck in.
That's exactly how it works.
Yeah, that's how it works.
You're stuck in the '90s forever.
What is your dream car, Sam?
I don't know, but it would have to be like a really cool SUV because my car has to be. I pride utility above all else, but if I can get some like some cool shit along with it, that would be nice. Like I want to be able to carry like this group here, I would like to fit this group in my car at all times. That's my
that is peak.
I really miss. I had a minivan before I had the Nugget, which I have right now.
Of course you did.
For the listeners, the Nugget is a little car I have. It's a Honda CRZ, which is a little 2-seat little sports car. And I really miss that minivan. I had a Sienna, an old Sienna too, and it was great. It was the best car I've ever owned. I've owned 4 cars. That's still the best.
By the way, Dominic, can I just ask about the Nugget? Did you ever get that bumper fixed? Because it was hanging off when I last saw it.
Yeah, no, I got some zip ties on. I was safe.
Great.
Great. It was that kind of easy. Took 5 minutes.
What? I'll tell you, man, the Nugget is like motorized depression. It's like...
one of those in nice condition is lovely, but mine's not in nice condition. Mine's
motorized depression.
Motorized depression. It's only a step or two above like a golf cart, right? It's like a glorified golf cart. And it's had a really tough life, right? Like I'm not the first. I mean, I'm so obviously not the first owner of it, right? My brother Joe, right? When he lived in Texas, he bought it off some guy in Texas, And he didn't say this at the time, like to my parents or to anyone else when he bought it. But he bought it off like a really stoned guy in Texas off the freeway.
Off the freeway?
On the freeway?
Yeah, off the freeway. He crashed into a pole. It was like, fine, I'm not gonna deal with this. You want to buy it? Yeah. I'll give you $2,000.
Whoa!
So not only did he buy it on the side of the highway, but he bought it from someone who just crashed it.
There was a bit more to that too, but that's the gist of what she told me. There's a bit of DMV in there, but despite the point. And he owned it, and the previous owner was like one of those like frat boys who gets the car modified, like they do the Subarus, right? And he really modified it. And he was a prolific smoker. He smoked a hell of a lot, which was in a sense. Well, first off, this is a bad thing because the interior of the car was like tar yellow, and it was just disgusting. But the good news is that you can't sell it for its actual value because no one's gonna buy it. So he bought the car for like $1,000, even though it's worth 8 times that. This was back in like 2016. It's not worth that now. And then he modified it, right? He gave it like a weird cold air intake in the front from a K&R or whatever it is, a K&N air filter, and they gave it this really exuberant exhaust. And he really did it up. And then Joe had it for a while, and he drove it off of Texas, which has got to be scary, right? Because Texans, right? I like Texans, but they do drive giant pickup trucks, and they are really into the giant American pickup truck. And there goes Joe, down the whatever it is, the interstate in Texas between Dallas and Fort Worth on his tiny little Japanese nugget, sandwiched between like 2 giant Silverados. Like that's got to be uncomfortable.
Seems like you might get victimized.
It's tough to drive in New York. I can only imagine in Texas it's worse. And then my dad had it, and now I have it, and now I'm gonna drive it till it dies.
Hey, respect
into
the hustle. Into the ground.
It has the most tasteful aftermarket muffler I've ever had in a car. Usually, aftermarket mufflers means they sound really loud and they're really obnoxious, and they just they're made for people who did not get enough attention as a kid. Like that's what they're really made for. Right? But mine it's really tasteful in the sense that it's really quiet until you floor it, and then it's loud. So if you're driving like a normal person, like an average human, like my mom, you'll never even know it has an aftermarket. It's like a little bit louder, but you'd never know. But when I'm on the highway out in the country and I just want to hear it, I can floor it in a second, and you better hear it. And it sounds really nice. So in that aspect, he did everything else wrong with that guy at the highway of Texas, but he did choose a good muffler. That's it.
Speaking of golf carts, did I ever tell you the time I almost ran myself over in a golf cart?
No, please do. I'm fascinated. What'd you do?
Yeah, that sounds amazing.
So my grandmother had a house that was really in the country, and she had like an electric golf cart for whatever reason, and she had a few hills behind her house, and I was visiting there, and I think it was with my cousin at the time, and we were driving around, and I was driving it, and I was going down. I originally started going down the hill like you normally would, like you go parallel with it, except at some point I decided to turn to the right, so I was kind of perpendicular, and I started my body wanted to continue going the way I was, but I was now going a different direction. So I spilled out of the driver's side, and I almost crushed myself with the back wheel.
Fuck.
Which I don't think I've ever seen anyone do anything even similar to what I did there, but yeah.
Oh man, okay, that's rough.
It's definitely it's a core memory of mine now.
One of those falls in you that really mess your day up.
yeah, that would mess my day up. Yeah.
Yeah, you'd notice. You'd feel that. You'd feel that in the morning. Did I ever tell you about the time that I stole a couch?
Okay. What do you mean you stole a couch?
So back at the summer camp we worked at, right? And they give us a cabin while we're up there to live in because it's the middle of nowhere.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And this cabin, we call it. It's MC-15. It's like the cabin designation. It's got a number and all that. And we're there. It's like the good cabin, right? We got the nice one. And in this cabin, there's a couch, and it's a good couch, straight from the 1980s. It's floral pattern orange, right? You can't get better. It's a great couch, right? And then midway through the summer, like week 2, week 3, we're there for 3 weeks, and the couch is just gone. Where'd it go?
Who took
our couch? And so we're asking around, and we learned that this one of the caretakers of the property, not the head honcho, but the old granny who's in charge of maintaining these cabins said, well, this couch is too old. We're going to get a new one. So we took the couch. Well, okay. That's okay. Well, I mean, when do I get my new couch? And he goes, soon. A week goes by. No couch.
Nothing.
No. Nada. Nothing. No couch. Right? And like we're desperate for a couch. Like where else am I supposed to sit down with my boys and drink beer at 1 a.m. in the morning at this job?
Bro's fiending for a couch.
So we had 5 wooden chairs and a blanket over it as our couch. And I'm telling you, not the same.
No.
Obviously.
Naturally. So like, okay, well, we don't have this couch. So we go up to the rangers. The rangers are in charge of like doing manual labor like that, moving couches around, and among other responsibilities.
So they're
but the main one is the couch moving.
Yeah, the main one's the couch moving. Forget about maintenance of the camp, but for couch moving is, sofa transportations. It's on the resume. And we go, hey, his name is hey, do we get, when's couch?
Where's our
and he goes,
fucking couch,
so
motherfucker?
Okay, and like, at this point, a weekend, we're getting a little suspicious about where this couch is going to be. But every day, it's a job, so we're all over the place every single day. We're very busy, and so we can't really do anything about it until the weekend. Mm-hmm. And then on the weekend, we get a little, like a little note from one of the other rangers, one of the subordinates, who's a friend of mine, and he goes, "Hey, so just in case, we're wondering, I had a look in the warehouse. Our couch, it's in the warehouse." Oh, is it now? Okay. So, no, I got that wrong. Tells us that there's a new couch in the warehouse, right? New in loose terms, right? It's from 1996, but it's new to us.
Right.
Like this is the couch. This is what's going to go on MC15. This is our new couch. It's green. It's kind of No, that was orange. It's a couch, Mm-hmm. It's like, what happened to the old couch? Well, I don't really know what happened to the old couch. Okay, well, it's a new couch. Is the Rangers going to move it over to the cabin? Yeah, they're going to do it at some point. Okay. We left it for another week. No couch. At this point, we were becoming impatient of the couch situation, right? This is becoming
real quick, can I just say,
yes.
You sound like a nuclear fallout survivor who's upset at the lack of water rations. A week goes by, no water.
Important, Jacob.
No water.
Well, I'm trying to be accurate with the story because I know a bunch of my buds from camp will listen to this podcast, and they're gonna tease me if I get details wrong, even though this happened like 5 years ago. So I'm trying to really think about the details here. Anyway, this couch is in the warehouse, right? Mm-hmm. You're not gonna bring us a couch. The Rangers are too busy. All right, gents, let's get together here. There's a couch. We know where the couch is. It's like it's not near us. Like it's like a mile down. It's in the same property. But it's at the warehouse, which is not next door. I have a van. We go to the warehouse. We put the couch in the van. With the couch in the van, we drive the couch in the van back to our cabin. You follow? We take the couch out of the van. We put the couch into the cabin. Success.
This sounds like Ocean's 11.
So we think about it. We go,
Frank Ocean was set.
This is a good plan. So we get into my van, right? This is like 11, maybe 10, 11 p.m. at night. Mm-hmm. And we have with us who has a key to the warehouse because it's locked, of course. Mm-hmm. No, he didn't have a key to the warehouse. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself here. I'm thinking of a different year. So we get in my van, we drive down, and I should point out that it is pouring rain. It is just driving rain. It's constant. It might have been the aftermath of whatever hurricane hit New York a couple years ago. Like it floated up north. It's just nothing but rain. Right, and we get to the warehouse, and I back my van up to this ancient building that we call the warehouse, which is the really big shed. And it's got a dock for a truck. So I back my van up, I put the seats down, I throw open the lid. And goes, okay, it's locked, but don't worry, I know how to get in. And he goes up to the garage door, and he just opens it because we don't lock the garage door. Mm-hmm. Why would we do that? So we get into the warehouse, right? And the warehouse is just full of junk from years, from the 80 years of this camp's existence. It's just full of crap all over the place. Mm-hmm. And we start just digging around, like, where's the couch? They move the couch. Where's the couch? Oh my god! And then we see the couch in its glory, in its beautiful orange 90s glory right there, with a nice distinct ass print from the last owner. Right, this is the couch. This is the winner. So we want to get the couch, but it's pouring rain. So I thought maybe we'll wait until it's no longer pouring rain. So we decided to wait a little bit in the warehouse, right? Mm-hmm. Now it's going to be really hard to describe if you weren't there, but in the span of about maybe 5 seconds, right? Mm-hmm. We're in the warehouse. It's pitch black out. It's the Adirondacks. There's no light pollution, right? So when it's dark, it's dark. You see nothing. And like that, right? The lights go out. We hear this unbelievable bang. Like it shook the world. Like the windows shook, right?
Yeah.
And I'm facing due north, which is right at these two giant fridges we use to store food. Mm-hmm. These huge walk-in freezers, right?
Right.
And I see just sparks just fly out of the hinges of these giant doors, just everywhere, just all of, like in a span of a second, right? And then like the lights stay out, and we're just yelling at each other. All of our ears are ringing, and when after about 5 seconds or 10 seconds, we figure it out that we were just struck by lightning. Lightning hit the building and it went down, and I guess we didn't have conduits or anything. They didn't have like lightning rods, so it hit the power line, and it went down the power line into the fridges and into the ground from there. And I've never seen anything like it, and it was beautiful. I've never seen anything like it. It blew me away. I still remember it. I've never seen like sparks fly from a fridge door. I've never seen anything like it. So Operation Couch was not a go because it was pouring rain, and the couch wouldn't fit in my car. Of course, it would stick out the back. It was gonna get soaked, so we drove back, and we went back a different day when it wasn't raining. We backed the van right up to the warehouse. Right, it's operation. We're gonna take this. It's the couch time. When we open the garage door and we get the couch, we stuff it into my van. Right, and what we didn't think, what I didn't realize is there's 4 of us. Right, we drove down to my van, which means there's 2 in the front seats. It's a minivan, so there's 2 in the middle seats. But to get the couch in there, we pulled the middle seats out, and we just left them at the warehouse somewhere, right? Where are the other 2 going to sit?
Ooh. I know where this is going.
We didn't think about that. So we thought, well, we'll have them sit in the couch. But we can't, because the couch is wide at the bottom, and I've got the wheel arches in the van. So we put the couch in upside down, right? So instead, we just had them crawl underneath the couch in the van. And we just told them to hang tight, they'll be fine. And we drove off, and it was a really bouncy ride. I tried to go slow, but it's difficult to go slow when you're having fun. So I'm driving on the road. I distinctly remember was yelling at me that like bits of fuzz from the couch were falling into his face. And we back that van right up to MC-15, and we pull that couch out, and we get those chairs, that blanket out, and we put that couch down. It's never moved since. It's been 6 years. It's still there.
Oh my god.
That is the tale of the couch. And the old couch, in case you're wondering, the old couch got moved up to a place that we call Moonscape, which is like a junkyard, right? We have in property, just in the middle of nowhere. And it was burned.
Oh.
It was torched.
That's actually such an insult.
And it was tragic because that was the best couch in the world. It was the best couch I've ever used. And it was been replaced with this inferior couch. But the old couch burned. Gone.
Wow.
Just torched it. They just fucking burned it.
They didn't even want to sell it on eBay?
It was beyond that, Jake. You don't understand. This couch, like nothing in this camp is new. That couch, it's seen some shit.
Was it there for the war?
That couch has probably been there since the mid-'70s, and it's seen the rear end of maybe 20,000 different staffers half drunk. That couch is not. It wasn't. I wouldn't even give that to my enemy. That is the tale of the couch. And we did get that couch. And I may have gotten some details wrong for the people who are listening who do know that story a bit better than I do, but that was the gist. That was the gist of it.
That's a wonderful story. I loved your heist.
The couch heist.
Closing statement for today. Try not to laugh, because this is being sincere here.
Okay.
No matter what you think, and no matter what your memories are, chances are your childhood sucked. Nothing was as good as you thought it was. So make the best out of your adulthood and have adventures today. That's my closing statement.
I don't know what is with your closing statements, Sam, but they're almost always something that I disagree with, like adamantly.
They're always
like,
so concerning.
That one time you talk about bestialities, like you probably shouldn't do that, Sam. Everyone's childhood shit. Like actually, that's true either, Sam.
He also let open with "try not to laugh" because this is sincere. Meaning he means that too.
Sam,
I sincerely think your childhood was shit.
I understand what you're going for. Like, nostalgia can be a bit of a beast, and everyone looks back of rose glasses, but I'm not sure the conclusion of that is that like our childhoods were irredeemable. I'm not sure that's quite.
Yeah, let's get the rest of these closing statements.
Robert, what's your closing statement?
I've had literally no useful input about any of the things we've spoken about today. I've probably played like 2 games in my entire life that I didn't enjoy. Can't remember what the hell they were called. And I have never stolen a couch.
Never have I ever stolen a couch.
Steal is the word I use, but it is a harsh word because the couch was already owned by the camp and is still at the camp.
The most important thing I've ever stolen was like those little table tents at Dairy Queen. That was a lot less enthralling than I almost died in a lightning strike. We hauled it into our car, and then we had to figure out how to transport everyone back. It was, I picked it up, I put it in my pocket, I walked out.
We're not the most intelligent crew at that camp, no.
Dominic, what's your closing statement, buddy?
If you listen to my voice right now and you have a Toyota Sarah for sale, please let us know on the podcast. I would love to make you an offer. Yeah. The same holds true if you have a recent generation iMac. Please hit us up. I'll make you an offer.
I like how like the majority of these closing statements you take as an opportunity to advertise things you want. Like you did it with Adelaide, Australia. You did it. You did something like that the other episode, I think.
Yeah. You got to plug, man. You got to plug.
You got a network.
We're media students, man. We got to plug.
Yeah, you got a network.
That's that networking.
My closing statement is, at the end of my little rant earlier, I genuinely, and this is not a joke, I genuinely pulled some of my hair out. I was that angry.
Okay.
I was genuinely mauling. I don't really have any follow-up. I just thought it was important to share.
That within itself is follow-up.
That is good. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear you yanked your hair out because of Crysis.
I mean, I don't know if glad's the right word, but it certainly adds to the emphasis of the emotions I felt earlier.
Which was, this man seems unstable.